Let's be honest, you're in the fragrance space for the compliments. You want to walk by somebody and have that lasting impression that, wow, this person smells absolutely spectacular. And sometimes you want to work up the nerve to be like, excuse me, what are you wearing? So I'm going to give you 10 fragrances that are bangers in different price points that you guys can use to get those compliments that you're looking for. Let's roll my motherfucking music, because I got 10 gems in here that's going to make you smell like a rock star.
I'm kind of a big
We're all alone in the villa of the river, yeah. There's some friends on the south side in case you cared. Out of all your friends, I want to be
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. This is your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. Now, I cultivated this list with different things in mind, like compliment factor. Some dudes are a little edgier. Some dudes are a little bit more rustic. Some dudes don't got enough bread right now, or some dudes just don't like to spend that kind of money on scented water. People just feel that, you know, I want the compliment factor.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
I may not want to have to give up a kidney. And other dudes is like, yo, I'm a hedge fund manager. I piss hundreds.
There you go. Thank you, sir. There you go. There you go. There you go.
So I try to hit you with a little bit of the wave, you know what I'm saying? Cheap, expensive, bougie, unknown, everything that has compliment factor status, no matter your budget. So let's jump right into this list with the first fragrance that is pretty much what I feel like Silver Mountain water should have been, or what it should do on your skin, because this provides me fruity notes, florals, that kind of coinish vibe, but still has a massive sillage bubble that will garner you compliments and exclusivity, because nobody's really gonna smell like it. And by the house of Rasasi, that's Entebaa. First impressions last forever. If that isn't a truer statement, I don't know what is. For me, on my skin, this is a grenade. This is kind of like, yo, be easy with the trigger because you might kill a baby seal. This is like choke a motherfucker out and he not know how he died. This is that musky bahabanti like, ooh, you smell sexy, pa. Yeah, I know. With this fragrance, I've gotten well over 8 hours of performance, and you have that floral muskiness, and like I said, that wet kind of nickelish vibe that you want from Silver Mountain water with that compliment factor, only at a fraction of the price. Great performance off of my skin, beautifully unique, and very, very interesting fragrance for not a lot of bread. Next one. This one is for a more bold individual who doesn't mind stepping into the rose space. Now, this is a clone of an amazing fragrance by the house of Indigo, but this one has done wonders for so cheap. It's so inexpensive, it's unbelievable. And the fragrance is by Latafa, and this one is called Amethyst. I bought the shit from Amazon for the low, and this smells wild. You just gotta be willing to try out rose. And if you want to try out a crazy rose fragrance without having to blow the bank or tap into your 401k, jump on Amazon and get Latafa's Amethyst. It's the clone of Atomic Rose by Indigo, which I think is a great rose fragrance that doesn't smell like it's gonna collect social security benefits, although those will probably run out in a couple of years anyway, the way the economy's going. There's like 78 different types of roses in here, and it still does not smell geriatric in any way. It's kind of just a peppery, spicy, vanillic, rosy fragrance that still has a good amount of masculinity. Like, I did 7 push-ups and my chest is feeling a little puffy. It's not just my puffy ass nipples. This is a great rose-based fragrance that is not expensive at all, has great performance, and really is unique in its own space. That's a banger. Next one. It's no secret Cuba loves the booze, right? I like to tap into a little whiskey. I'm a whiskey guy, not a big cognac guy, but a whiskey guy. But this is a brand that makes booze. They started off making booze, so you would assume that they can do booze right. It's not Killian, but it's actually Frappin, and this one is the 1271. Not the 1271, but 1271. Chocolate, cognac, spice, woody, deep, robust, an explosion of scent, almost flavorful in a way. Like if you're going to a chef's restaurant and he's just concocting something right off his dome, not off the menu, that exclusive shit, that shit that you know VIPs only get because they don't offer from that little laminated paper. Dry woods, vanillic, spicy, booze, aged, sexy, extremely masculine, and has a very beautiful, unique quality that again keeps you exclusive. You don't want to smell like a group of Dior boys walking around smelling like the same shit over and over again. You want to separate yourself from the rest and still smell absolutely impeccable just how you present yourself. 1270 by Frappin is one of those fragrances. Next one. The next fragrance had a big hype for a minute. Now nobody talks about it. They get bored of it. They pass it along. This particular fragrance is still a sexy motherfucker, especially for the date night vibes. And it's by the house of Paco, Rabanne, and that's Pure Excess Night. Mass appeal, vanillic, creamy, spicy, ambery type fragrance. It's a banger. It's gonna get you the compliment factor that you're looking for. It has the right amount of sweet and savory, so to speak. It's got its greenness, it's got its spiciness, it's got a little bit of kind of like a Middle Eastern kind of spice seasoning on it. Keeping with that sweet tonka, cardamomish kind of vanilla churn butter sex appeal like snort me because we're going out on a date night and I pulled out my Sunday's best. Not a very expensive fragrance, still has a bit of a unique quality to it, and definitely has that rock star sexy vibe that you want in a fragrance that gets you the compliment factor that we're all searching for. Next one. Now this one, as soon as I smelled this one, I was like, ooh, this is going to be a problem. Houston, call the spaceship back. We dropping alien panties out here. The fragrance is by the house of BDK, and that's Gris, Charnel, Extrait. Fig, delicious fig, leathery nuances, two types of woods. You got vanillic vibes, just masculinity and sex appeal with a decent amount of power. Now it is an extrait. I would expect it to be a little bit better on the performance aspect, but as far as sex appeal is concerned, yeah, daddy's wearing this shit today. Talk to me nice. I'm smelling like amazing vetiver, some slight boozy vibes. I'm smelling delicious. I'm smelling scrumptious. I'm smelling like I wanna fuck me.
Hey, yo!
Next one. People are comparing this fragrance to Initio Oud for greatness, and I was one of them. However, the characteristics when it starts drying down is definitely different and absolutely is a sexy ass release by the house of Parfums de Marly, and that's that new Haltane. Not inexpensive, so let's keep that in mind. However, sexy. Even the hater jaw agrees that this is definitely a bahabanti, a jaw dropper, an absolutely gorgeous and elegant fragrance. Great performance, beautiful scent profile. Obviously, it's a scent profile that isn't unknown to us, but it works when it works, and it works. I was going for an afternoon walk in my neighborhood and some lady was walking next to me. She must have been, nice and seasoned in her 70s. She was still hot though, she was tight. But she was like, smelling amazing. I was like, great, why are you walking a lot faster than me? You're like 60 years my senior. Burning me, she was just fucking a jet. But she said I smell good, man. While going on a walk on some random shit, I wore a little Haltane and get a compliment. So imagine what that could do for the young cougars. Next one. One of the best leather fragrances, hands down. If you smell this fragrance and you don't like it, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to get a COVID test immediately because clearly your nasal area is shot to shit. This is by the house of Memo, and this is African Leather. This is a incredibly beautiful leather fragrance that is salivating. Gorgeous, outstanding leather fragrance that is drool-inducing. Leather, musk, cardamom, beautiful spices, incredible sillage, amazing performance, has the unique factor, has the masculinity, has the sex appeal, has the date night vibe, has the compliment factor. This is a stellar piece of perfumery in my opinion. I love it. It will forever live in my collection, and once it's gone, it will be replenished. That's how sexy this fragrance is. Stop sleeping. Wake up. Next one. Some of us want to get a little adventurous. Some of us like to think outside of the box. Some of us like to take risks. This fragrance is a little bit of a risk because of the sweetness that it has. But once you let it dry down and can get past that hump of sweetness, because it might be a little bit cavity inducing, it might get you that sweet shorty you're looking for. And that's by the house of Ramon Monegal, Flamenco. The easiest way to describe this fragrance is a floral raspberry jam. This is something you find at a farmer's market that was churned by a little old lady who ain't got shit else to do but make jam because it's her passion since she was a child. But it has this unique sexiness about it when it dries down on my skin that it causes people to just ask questions. I call this the sweet icebreaker. Ramon Monegal makes some beautiful fragrances, but this one is special in its own right. This bright, slutty red that you see here, the raspberry here adds this beautiful gourmandiness to it. The florals add a nice balance of sweet and airy florals. There's a nice component here of woodiness when it dries down on your skin that does add that masculinity and brings it up to kind of reduce the bit of overly sweetness that you will get at the top. But I promise you that there is nothing more beautiful on your skin for somebody who likes sweet, gourmandy kind of fruit-based fragrances than this joint. It's a sleeper. It screams the name Flamenco. It's like the dancer on my arm. She's ready to all over you. Next one. How easily we forget when we fall in the fragrance space that there are OGs that have been getting you compliments since the 2000s easy breezy. This fragrance was on so many people's countertops, was their signature go-to. And now that we get involved with all these other things, we so quickly forget the ones that got us in position to get those compliments. This one is still a banger. It has not died. It has not aged out. People have just forgotten about it because they're haters. Terre de Hermes by Hermes is still a signature piece. And yes, this is a huge bottle. It's not a camera illusion. How are you gonna forget like the Prince of Vetiver? This was like the Macy's staple greatest hits for like 3-4 years in a row. This was on everybody's table in my hood. They knew that once they got that Hermes H, that it was going down basement. If your parents didn't go to the Dominican Republic and leave you with an open crib to do a little bit of dancing, twerking, and some illegal paraphernalia, you wasn't living life back in the day in my hood. And best believe there was at least 3 or 4 dudes in there rocking this because they knew it would garner the compliments that they were looking for. Don't sleep on the OGs because they put you in position. Last and certainly not least, Summertime Vibes is here, and although I'm not the biggest fan of this house, it does produce certain fragrances that are bangers. So it's like a handful of fragrances in this house that are done well, and this one from the Dubai collection is no exception, and that's Indigo by Bon No. 9, Dubai line. This is like my white tee dressed down with a little bit of drip summertime vibes. Throw on a nice pair of shorts, a clean crisp white tee, some white Air Force One Uptowns, and you Gucci. This joint is amazing in the high heat. Very few fragrances can really withstand that high heat potency. It's not easy to have a fragrance to be constructed to still smell sexy, still perform in the high heat, and still get you that compliment factor. Because sometimes in that New York must of heat, the fragrances just dissipate like dust in the wind. That peach opening with that lychee fruit really separates it from the rest of the fragrances. It's a very fruity opening with a real thick, heavy musk base. The notes indicate that it has slight ambery nuance, and I do get a little bit of it, but for me it's just fruit and musk, which really work well in the summertime. I don't know what keeps it like latched onto my skin like a leech. Maybe it's the lychee. Cornball. But it's an absolutely amazing fragrance for the summertime. I promise you, you're gonna get all the compliments that you're looking for because this is absolutely outstanding for that summertime vibe. These are 10 certified bangers with different price points. I promise you, at least sample these fragrances, test them out, see if they work for your vibe because they're definitely gonna get you the compliments that you're looking for. Bar and lounges are open. The world is opening up. It's time for you to start tickling some ass. I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
Cubaknow, what's fresh, who's best, one of them's gonna pass the test. Cubaknow.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.